Hi there, and welcome to the ATS podcast with me, Will Brown, and John Soulsby, where we break down chunks of health and fitness information into bite sized pieces, remove a bunch of the noise, and just leave what's relevant. Today we are on episode number 15. Topic for today is best further education and/or qualifications for personal trainers, so it's back to a bit of an industry one. However, leading in with an off topic that isn't related in the slightest is an NFL season rant, because we are about halfway
We're
through the
halfway.
NFL season, yeah. So I figured this would be a fun one to chuck in, see how it's going, maybe revisit it right at the end of the season.
Yep. Um. First off, disappointed with how the Lions are doing this year.
Oh, the grit is not there. They do not
Yeah.
have any grit. They've got grit
No.
in their eyes. That's about it.
I. Yeah. How you can have it? It was like week 4. They had the number one scoring offense and the number one or the number 32 defense. You're like, how? How have you managed that?
It's wild, eh? Like I literally am pretty much selecting fantasy picks based on who's playing the Lions in Atlanta at the moment.
Yeah.
That's almost like my criteria for picking people who I'm not
And
sure about.
it's doing you pretty well.
For again, just for context for people, both of us follow the NFL. That's the American Football League, the Hand Egg League of
America.
Merca, uh, and have done for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it is during season a weekly event with our circle of friends where we all watch the games. We play fantasy football, like we, yeah, just in general noise each other up about how poor we are all doing simultaneously at football.
Yeah. I wouldn't say any of our leagues or any of the teams are actually doing that well.
No, there's
They're
always
just
holes to pick
yeah.
holes.
There's
Yeah, but yeah, who'd have thought like the Vikings are actually, looking like they might
they're
go the
doing it.
they might go the distance.
They won last week with a kick, which is literally never happens. Yeah, Green Bay are terrible.
Oh, Green Bay are woeful. I'm so interested to
Lost to
see.
said Lions.
Yeah, I'm also interested to see how big Baron Kisser Tom Brady rounds out the season because he has never had a losing season.
I know. I've put my fantasy team on the back of that,
Yeah.
because I knew Ali dropped him the other week after you traded him.
Oh, the like
And
every piece of information I've listened to or read about fantasy football has been like, well, I mean, there's been a number of times where we've been like, we just bet against Tom Brady and look what happened. And even now they're like I don't want to do it. I don't want to say it.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
But it's really not looking good.
Um,
And I agree, it's not looking good. He's 4-5. Like
no, I
wild.
totally agree. So I'm bottom of our league for everyone else listening at the moment. So I need some help, and I majorly needed some help in the quarterback department. So I think picking up historically the best QB to ever have done it is a reasonable move for me at the bottom of the league, because I can't get any worse.
Hmm.
And he could turn it around now.
He could. He literally could go on a straight absolute win streak and finish it. What?
It's,
How much would it end? 10-5 or something? If you
yeah,
just won out,
I mean, I
or
wouldn't put
9 and
nothing.
yeah, something like that. That would be, I mean, wild for a start.
Or no, 12-5 now because it's a 17 game season.
Oh, so it is. Yeah, I couldn't
Wild.
remember. If they went 12-5, I would be thoroughly amazed.
It'd be great for my fantasy team. So
Yeah, if they could just wait. I didn't realize Blaine Gabbert was his backup either.
yeah.
The but yeah, should be interesting to see how the season rounds out.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it now. The Niners are going to make it to the championship game again, and then Jimmy G's gonna throw about 4 million picks.
Poor Jimmy G, eh? He better not, because he's on my fucking team now.
It won't matter then though. That's playoffs.
Do we not play? We've got 16 weeks of fantasy. Oh, I suppose it goes up to a 17-week game.
Yeah. I think there might be playoffs, but then there's still 17 weeks, and then there'll be the first week of playoffs.
Davey is not keen on trading Rasheem Mostart for Jeff Wilson. Sad boys.
Mikey is currently trying to trade me big Lenny Fournette for Chubb.
No, no, Lenny is on his way out. Lenny is done.
Exactly.
He
One
is.
and Nick Chubb's currently on just rushing stats. He's currently the number one running back in the league.
Yeah, that's an absolute theft in theft in transit. See if he'll chuck you Cooper Cup for him.
Oh, maybe.
That's a deal. That's a fucking if you chuck in someone else, if you go Nick Chubb and like a give him for Cooper Cup and see if counter it and see if he says anything. Big Lenny Fournette is on the way out, mate. He is getting
So
old.
apparently he's running back number 9 on the overall.
Lenny,
Aye.
he's had like a couple of breakout games, but like,
Well, he is on the way out, yeah.
yeah,
So
like
for those that don't know as well, the average career expectancy of an NFL running back is 4.5 years.
the I
Oh no,
think
Nick Chubb's number 5 overall now.
yeah, I think some of the stat nerds have
He's just had a bye week though.
been quoted about saying that there's about like once you hit that kind of like 400 carry mark, like in your career, things can start getting a bit rope.
Mm.
Just cause you get physically beat up quite severely, like playing that thing. This is my problem for this week is I have Gabe Davis who has an incredibly high ceiling because he's literally on the Bills
Yeah.
and able to catch the ball from Josh Allen, but they have a really easy schedule coming up until they hit New York, the Jets. But Josh Allen has a fucking gammy elbow, and I'm like,
Yeah.
he's missing practice this week. I'm like, if Josh Allen goes down, I'm screwed because I don't have a backup receiver. I'll have to move Schuster off a flex and put a running back in.
Yeah. Although, so the Jets is an example of a team who are doing very well. Their current schedule, apart from beating the Bills, they've only beaten trash.
Yeah, the thing is though, they have like, I think arguably some of the best corners in the league. Like they have two of the best outside corners going, so like people just don't run up the score that much on them, which means their offense doesn't need to do
Yeah.
much. Like their offense just needs to do enough.
Also, I suppose, say every year, like there's no actual trash teams in the NFL. There's bad teams, but like they're still like pretty much competitive every year. Apart from maybe the Browns a couple of years ago.
I'm just really debating whether I put DeAndre Swift in. Because he is absolute marshmallow man. He's like hurt all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
But when he isn't hurt, he can absolutely blow the roof off the thing. I love how. Oh no, the Lions didn't beat Philly. They just scored a shit ton of points and still lost.
That's the Lions this year. Right.
On to the
Actual
actual topic.
topic.
Yeah, before we get carried away. Best further
Uh,
education and qualifications for PTs. I'm like, I got asked this. I put this in here because I got asked this when I did that talk at the gym group.
mm,
I was very in two minds. I mean, mainly number one, I don't have any further qualifications. Like, I did my level 3. I've done since I did like a level 4, like essentially like a requalification. There was a whole thing where I got my PT qualification in 2010, 2011,
yeah.
and essentially threw the thing away, or like threw the certificate away because I was like, I'm gonna open my own gym. I don't need this. Like a dickhead.
Yep.
Um, completely not really forward thinking about I might actually potentially need to send these to customers so that they have a record of my qualifications and
Yeah.
like proof of my insurance.
Mhm.
Uh, and when that happened, like I don't know, 8 years down the line, 7 years down the line, I needed to go find it. Had obviously thrown it out slash not kept track of where the hell it was. Couldn't
Yeah.
find it. Messaged the company I qualified for. Luckily, they are still going. And they were like, "Oh, we don't even do that qualification anymore. Like we've reworked the entire syllabus." I was like, "Minted. Could you please like send me a copy?" And they were like, "We don't have anything. Like we don't even have the old certificate formats. Like you would essentially need to do something else." And I was like, "Cool."
Cool.
So did that. and got a new one for a different qualification that's above PT. I can't remember what the hell it was,
God, yeah.
like advanced personal training or some pish.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and like actually, to be completely forward, I don't even have that technically.
yeah, you don't. You've just got your sports science degree.
Yeah. Which, like, for some reason, because the fitness industry is kind of cowboy,
Hmm.
is absolutely is like counted as valid usually as a PT call and like insurance stuff. Like I
Yeah,
was talking to Andy Hamilton about, he's like, oh yeah, like most insurance places, like, oh, you've got, or like if you are wanting to PT at like a Pure or something like that. If you've got a sports science degree, that's you done.
mate. If you've
Like,
got a fucking degree and are looking at PT at Pure,
yeah,
like you're
you're
undershooting your shot hard.
oh, 100%. But like, I
Like,
think I don't really think, yeah, neither of us have any qualifications apart from that.
yeah, I think
Um,
where it does differ though is further education. Like, I think it's safe to say we are in a state of constant education. Like,
yeah.
we are constantly seeking out new new information from various people. I do think one of the things that a lot of people struggle with is the fact there's loads of information out there. A lot of it is conflicting. I think that's kind of part and parcel with how social media and internet content in general has developed, in the fact that people want the highest traffic and therefore take the
Mhm.
most eye-catching clickbaity opinions. Like, clickbait as a term has developed purely out of
Yeah.
social media trends. And
Also, on that topic, come back in episode 17 where we discuss our favorite fitness social media memes
that's true, yeah, we've got social media, the most memey
coming up.
people on social media, um, which is essentially just going to be a fitness media roast. Um, so yeah, I think there's definitely, because again, in other places, like, I've talked to people who have about 10 different qualifications of like level 3 kettlebell instructor, like all this, that, and
Oh,
the other thing. I've not really, apart from them just having a longer laundry list of things they've done, I'm not like, I don't feel any kind of tangible difference. It's not like I'm just,
no.
like, the main one is speaking to people in, like, sports science academics. Like, that is when I
Yeah.
feel like a chimp in a zoo. Like, I am like, these people are really fucking smart, and I know
Yeah.
none of this stuff. If you kind of find people that make you feel like the dumbest person in the room, like you're probably in the right room.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think like apart from a degree in something, um, like as in if you're doing a master's in kinesiology or some whatever, essentially biomechanics,
Yep.
that sort of thing can help. But even then, if you're
I was
a
about to say,
regular PT, I don't really know how much a master's in biomechanics is really going to change your life.
yeah, conversely, I've also met people who have degrees and
Oh,
struggle,
they're and yeah,
yeah,
oh,
and struggle like really badly
yeah,
because they have really low interpersonal skills. Like their
yeah,
communication and yeah, like interpersonal relationship management type stuff of like being able to build rapport, like being able to communicate effectively at a level that the client understands, like all of this stuff is just whack. So
yeah,
like if they had to sit down and write like the textbook answers, they'd smoke it 100%. But actually kind of relating and meeting somebody where they're at is a
impossible.
really big part of the process as well.
Yeah. I would say one qualification. I know, like, I suppose the opinion is 50-50 with people I've spoken to and whether it's worth the time or not. But if you wanted like a qualification to go and do that would significantly improve you as a coach if you're starting out, is the UKSCA one.
Yeah,
It gets a
that's
lot of hate sometimes in the industry for being a bit like cliquey and yeah, but it is still a very high quality qualification.
conversely, if you want to avoid the cliqueiness of the actual qualification, but still get like 90% of the benefits, they post like pretty much all the guest lecturing online for free.
Yeah,
Or you can pay to become a member for very little and listen and read all the material they put out
yeah.
if you're really interested in that.
Um,
But yeah, I think
I
that's the
think.
yeah, that's the thing. I see a lot of people who fall into the class of like PTs who have great knowledge and a bit kind of lackluster in comms and sales, and then people who are essentially like ridiculous S tier salespeople. Like they have the gab, they've got the chat,
Mhm,
like horrifically personal. Like you'd immediately go for a drink with them, but they
yeah.
don't know they don't have like a super good
Mhm,
background or like a good kind of backing up of knowledge. Like if you just tunnel down into stuff they say, it gets a bit kind of hand wavy like really really quickly.
yeah.
Which is essentially what I mean. That might actually be a reasonable summary. I think being in a state of continued education, whatever like setting aside a realistic budget for whatever is fine for you to afford and invest in your education, with a healthy amount of skepticism, as well as um, just yeah, continually educating yourself and continually working and just really trying to like reflect on how you present information, your how you program. Like another really easy one is if you haven't changed anything in the past couple of years in a process that you do, is probably worth looking at.
Yeah. Um, I think as well worth mentioning because it's where I feel we get a lot of our updates, or it is a vast part of where we get our updates is this the mass reviews we get from Greg Knuckles. Is it Stronger by Science?
Yeah, Stronger by Science, they do the
Yeah.
monthly applied sports science review.
Yeah. And their podcasts as well. Like a lot of people put out podcasts with amount of decent amount of information, but like the Stronger by Science one and the Mass Review monthly is like if you wanted just like one thing to go away and do that will have a wealth of knowledge in it, it's that. And it would be like half an hour a week.
Hmm. But yeah, I think that would sum it up. It's not that other extra qualifications are not of any use. I just think there are a lot out there that don't really provide as much value as they probably come across as providing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's probably I think that pretty much covers it. Education qualification. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much reasonably covers it. Right, we out.
Bye.